Hi Vinisha.
Hi, Aditya.
Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm good.
Okay,
How-
we are very well, thank you. We're going to have Sumi take you through the topic that Vinisha is going to be covering and a little bit about Vinisha. In the meantime, Vinisha, you can go ahead and get your screen share started.
Okay.
Hello, Vinisha. This is
Hi,
Sumia.
Sumi.
Hello. Finally, this is the second event that we have with you. I would like to introduce Dr. Vinesha Selvarajah. Vinesha is a lecturer in Asia Pacific University, APU, Malaysia. She is also a Rocheston Certified Trainer, RCT, Certified Chief Innovation Officer, CCIO, which is my favorite. I don't know because it sounds very good. Rocheston Certified Cybersecurity Engineer, Level 1 and 2. She has been actively involved in catering cybersecurity awareness trainings and workshops for students in both higher education and high school. She has conducted several sessions and workshops leveraging the importance of cybersecurity with hands on training for the students in the area of cybersecurity and forensics. Thank you, Anisha. Happy to have you.
And
Thank
guys,
you,
I think
Sumi.
we mentioned the topic that Vinisha is going to be talking about. So Vinisha is going to be talking about the involvement of women in cybersecurity, a dazzling touch. That's a fancy title, Vinisha. Over
It
to
is
you.
a fan. Can you hear me?
Thank you.
Yes, we can hear you. Over to you.
Okay. It is an interesting topic. I'm just getting the slides up. Just give me 1 second.
Next to
Hold
the
on.
microphone, the share option.
Um, it's blocked. Okay, now okay. Okay. All right. So just 1 second. Sorry for the technical issue. Hold on. Okay. Okay, so once again, hi guys. Thank you for joining Rochester's Reinvent Conference for Cybersecurity for Women. As Sumi introduced me just now, my name is Dr. Vinesha Selvarajah, and yes, I'm from Asia Pacific University, also a Rocheston Certified Trainer. My topic for today is going to be the involvement of women in cybersecurity, which I call it a dazzling touch. Okay, now before we start, uh, I'm just going to say this. We're not going to go into too much of the technical stuff here because it is a cybersecurity conference for women anyway. So I'm going to take you through a journey of why do we need a dazzling touch in cybersecurity. I mean, come on, guys. The term cybersecurity itself seems technical, right? And we're all women here. No offense for all the guys, but we're all women here. So what am I trying to say is cybersecurity deserves a dazzling touch. And who are we? We are the dazzles here. Okay, so I'm going to take you into a journey of showing you how much of a dazzle, how much of a diamond we can be, making a difference in the cybersecurity field. So before we move on to the dazzling part, let me just cover what are we going to what you guys are going to get from me here today. We're going to start off with women empowerment and accomplishment in the past. We're going to see how women in cybersecurity have done very well over the years. And we're going to look at some of the facts and figures. I mean, numbers don't lie, don't they? And the real issue in integrating women in cybersecurity, involvement of women in cybersecurity, dazzles versus geezes, if you know what that means, the need of dazzling touch, and of course, the opportunity and career advancement for most of the women out there who really want to pursue cybersecurity, but you do not know where to start. Okay, so let's move on and get into it. Now, these are, I'm showing you here three women. Okay, these are three women in the past who are gone, but they're not forgotten, of course, because they have done, they have already contributed a lot in cybersecurity over the years. Now, let's take a look at the first one here, Agnes Mayer Driscoll. Now, she was an American cryptologist who have hacked the Japanese naval system in the past. And this is what we're talking about before World War II. She has also trained the naval officers and was ranked as the highest of chief in her continent. And then we have Elizabeth Frightman. Now, she was the first female cryptanalyst, the Women All Spies in the US. created communication security system for international monetary fund. Can you imagine this, guys? This is what, for 30 years ago. That's when she passed away. But this was in the 1892. And we also have someone here who's Genevieve Feinstein. She just passed away recently, I mean about 14 years ago, but she was the top secret World War II code breaker who's also a mathematician, and she's also part of the Signal Intelligence Service here. Now, you may be wondering, why am I talking about these three people here? I mean, they are women and they have done so well, so much achievement and accomplishment in the field of cybersecurity. Okay, looking at all this, I mean, you might wonder, how can women do so much? Yes, we can. The answer is we can. Whether it is cybersecurity or is it art or anything, we can, just as they can, right? So this is women empowerment. So let's move on. Let's look at some statistics here. Okay, now we have the male and the female dominant in cybersecurity. According to ISC2 report in 2017, you can see here from the slide, you can see that male, higher average number of male have worked in an IT role, higher number of male have worked on cybersecurity initiatives, and also a higher number of male worked in a cybersecurity role. We are moving here, progressing from an IT, general IT, going on towards cybersecurity initiative. Now, it's not just about cybersecurity. It is in fact technical field. They label it as technical field, right? IT is one of the technical field. So as you see, even over the years, the number of male dominates the number of women working in this area. I mean, that's sad, isn't it? So that is in 2017. Now let's move on to see what we have in a more recent time. Now, focus on the second table below the slide, women in the global cybersecurity workforce from 2018 right up to 2020, which is this year. Now, in 2018, globally, we only have 11% of the workforce that had women working for it. And then when you move on to 2019, there was only a slight rise towards it, only a 2% increase from 2018 to 2019. And then when we look at 2020, there's a 7% increase there. So we have reached 20%. But then again, the number is still low. It's not even half, isn't it? Look at the representation of women in the cybersecurity field. 13% in 2013, 20% in 19. So as you can see, they are increasing year by year, but at a very small pace. But then again, look at the participants we have in this conference. We have so many amazing, beautiful women who are representing the cybersecurity field, and they're going to share their sessions with you. So we need to work together in increasing these numbers, right? Let's move on. What are the real issue here? Now let's talk about the real issue here. Why is there a very small number of women in the field of cybersecurity? These are real issues, and some is what I may call as myth. Now look at the first one. Cybersecurity is a masculine profession. It's a misogynist culture. This is not true. I mean, they may name it as a masculine, a male dominant profession, but then again, think about it. We are women. We can do a lot of things here. We, just as what our previous speaker, Miss Ruby, have mentioned just now, I mean, we're already the protector of our home, our families, and everything. Why can't we be a protector of cybersecurity? Why can't we excel in cybersecurity here? Then we move on to the second point. Only technical skills are required for the job. Now, in terms of cybersecurity, yes, we require a lot of technical skills here, but technical skills are learnable. We can all put in our effort into learning these technical skills as well. But then again, if you look at it in a different angle or a different point of view, it doesn't just require you technical skills. It requires you more than technical skills. For example, decision making. We also have compliances in cybersecurity. We also have governance. We have training. We have the soft skills, and all these are part of the cybersecurity field as well. Now, here's the one thing that I will not agree. It says here, men are good in STEM. No offense, I'm not discriminating anything, but I'm saying here, men are good in STEM. So we talk about STEM here is science, technology, engineering, and maths, while women are not. That is not true. Let's take myself, for example. I'm a cybersecurity expert, and I'm also greatly involved in the field of STEM. But I will take you to a story later of how I've got myself involved in cybersecurity and then subsequently implementing whatever that I've learned, my knowledge, my skills into STEM as well. But then again, what I'm saying here is both men and women can be equally good in STEM. Gender discrimination, I'm sure Miss Ruby have covered about gender discrimination earlier. Unconscious bias, of course, unequal pay, and very importantly, lack of support from leadership. I mean, this is happening, right? But then again, there are ways for us women to actually excel and shine in the field of cybersecurity, which we'll be covering later on. Now, let's look at this. This is also from ISC2 report in 2017. We are looking at the pay scale for women and men. Yes, it's stated that it's younger women experience less pay inequity, but let's look at the bars. I mean, you don't have to get into the details. From a glance, you could see that in every section, millennials, Generation X, or baby boomers, you can see that all the bars on the right side is slightly almost or higher than every bar charts on your left, which are females. So in this point of view, we can see that, okay, we can say that, yes, women may be getting paid slightly lesser than men. But then again, look at the next slide. Look at this. The light green denotes women. The dark green denotes male. Okay, look at this. Look at this chart. Men and women do the same work. And look at the percentage. They are quite close, or women has already overtaken the job that men are doing. So look at the first one, security threat detection and remediation. We have 79% of women working in this area. Data security, women dominated. Network security and network security architecture, not that high, but we're reaching there. Security consulting, we have dominated them. Security for virtualized or cloud environments, we have dominated them. So why are we getting paid slightly lower? So these are questions that comes in even for women who actually want to take up or experience the cybersecurity field. That's what they feel. I mean, we do feel that way at one point. I mean, I felt the same way at one point of my life, that we do want to venture the cybersecurity field, but at times we may feel that we are not good enough. I mean, we cannot match up to whatever it's in the industry. We do not have enough information, or simply that we do not know where to start. Okay, so I will definitely share you my 2 cents on where and how I started to venture into the cybersecurity field. Now, look at this. This is another survey that I want to show you. Top concerns where men and women differ. Now, before we go into the details of it, just look at the graph and have a mindful that whatever that is representing male, which is the dark green, is higher than whatever that is represented by female. And this is calculated based on average. So between men and women, men has reported having lack of skills and experience as cybersecurity personnel, lack of resources to do their job effectively, lack of training to help them develop their skills, and even lack of time to do their job effectively. So, 1 second. Yep. Just give me 1 second. Hold on. Okay, you guys can still see me, so it's fine. We have a sudden blackout here. Okay, pardon that, guys. Okay, let's continue. So with all these different reports from men and women, we can see from the graph that male have been reporting higher concerns, higher lack of skills, higher issues in the field than women. Now, moving on to Dazzle versus Jesus. Okay, I'm going to be a bit subtle here. I hope you do understand when I say the difference between dazzles here the diamonds and the geezers. We know who they are. Okay, let's look at the differences. I mean, there are, of course, more differences, but these are just some to name a few. So let's look at the first one. Now, the dazzlers have rated lower knowledge of IT controls, whereas the geezers have rated higher knowledge of IT control. Now, here we are talking about knowledge. Of course, we're also talking about skills and whatever background, education, knowledge, skills, practices we need in the field of cybersecurity, right? But let me tell you this. In terms of knowledge, in terms of technical skills, in terms of anything that you need to get the job done, we have certifications for that. We have workshops for that. We have modules for that. We can learn. There's always a starting point for each and every one of us if you want to get into the cybersecurity field. And these things can be learned. But let's look at the second point now. Dazzlers are more compliant compared to geezers. Now you can't argue with this point that much, right? Because generally there is a mindset where females are more compliant than males. So this comes in the nature of us women. It just comes with it. Now, when you're talking about compliances, one can argue and say that no, we can learn compliances. Yes, you can learn, but practicing it, it is in the nature of us that we are more compliant than. And then we look at embracing organizational controls. It is reported, survey has been done, reports have been done, that women are more compliant and they are more in control when it comes to organizational policies and so on and so forth. Whereas geezers, on the other hand, they at times, how do I put this? They at times possess risky behaviors and other issues that come along. But we're not going to focus so much on the geezers today. We're going to focus on the dazzles, right? So now we're going to move on to the need of a dazzling touch. Enough of the cybersecurity technical terms. You guys have a whole lot of session more to go. So you guys can go and listen to all the technicality and all this. But I'm looking at the dazzling touch of it. We need that dazzling touch in cybersecurity. Number one, we all know this for a fact, and you'll be hearing this more or less couple more times in this conference. There is a shortage of gender diversity in cybersecurity. We need to change that. We need to build a bold identity for women in cybersecurity. We are in the 2020s today. We need to build a bold identity for women in cybersecurity. Meticulous nature of women is an essential need in cybersecurity. We women now has to bring all our touches, all our dazzling touches into cybersecurity. Everything that we've learned, everything that we have within us, put it into cybersecurity and make a difference. And of course, let's look at the other side of the table. We have scholarships and incentive today. No offense for the guys, but if you look out there, there are a lot of percentages of scholarships given to women who want to pursue a career or an education in cybersecurity. That is there. And in fact, I have a slide on that you can look through later. Job security and demand. There are job security out there for women today. Women are in need in the job field, but then again, there's a few things for us women to do to get into these jobs and demands and so on. There's a few things that we have to do. And let's look at the next one. 52% versus 44% are more educated and hold a postgraduate degree. Now, this one I can't argue with this. Now, generally out there, based on reports that have reported their findings, it is there. It is reported out there that women, in a sense, are more educated, and the number of women hold a postgraduate degree compared to male out there. So why not put that into good use? And finally, they are more likely to take up leadership positions only because we have all the dazzling touches with us. We are better in decision making. We make informed decisions. We take into the consideration of many different areas before even taking a drastic decision, in simple words. Now, This is another study by Fortinet in 2019. Women brings broader skill diversity. That's what I'm saying. We have that diversity in us. Number one, let's look at leadership. We have higher number of leadership skills than women. Our interpersonal and communication skills are there. We are somewhat more analytical. If you're looking at the 2 skills and 8 skills there, guys, it's not 8, it's 0.8. And let's look at personal characteristics. Women have 7 skills there, whereas men has zero point 0.4 skills. Now we can't argue with that. I mean, women are diverse. We have diversified culture, we have diversified skills, and the way we do things are different. So what I'm saying is, put all this into good use, and you will truly make a huge difference in cybersecurity. See, only 17 of the top 20 skills. Women are 52.5% more often to live soft skills than men. And these soft skills are all important in the cybersecurity field as well. So for those of you who think that cybersecurity is only where you look at the analytical part, the technical part, and all these technical skills and jargons, that's not true. Because I'll show you something more later in the slides. So here are some opportunities for women in cybersecurity that have picked up. Now, it's not limited to just this few here, but let's take a few from here. If you look at the slide, there's something called Cyber Girls. There's something called Mastercard's Girls for Tech. And somewhere in between, there's something called Code Like a Girl. And Code Like a Girl is a global organization. Now, some of these are global, some of these are specified to certain countries, but the 3 that I just listed are organization or committee or groups that looks at nurturing women from a very young age in the field of cybersecurity. So if you guys got daughters, send them for this so that they start from a very young age. They will be taught simple skills to technical skills, how to program and things like that in cybersecurity. Whereas the rest of it, if you look at it, we have She Secures. This is in Africa. We have Cyber Shiksha. This is from India. We have the Women in Cybersecurity. We have the OAPS Women in Application Security. These are all global community, global groups and networking out there, which you can join. You can get yourself involved in this kind of group to start somewhere in the cybersecurity field. If you're not already in the cybersecurity field, get yourself into one of these groups. They are kind of like a support group that doesn't only teaches you what is cybersecurity. They have workshop, they have networking, and of course Rocheston is one of them, because here we are, our cybersecurity for women conference as well. So you need somewhere that you can start off with, right? And moving on, this is where I'm going to focus on today. So if you want to build a career path in cybersecurity, here we're not looking at you getting a job. That's later, and the opportunities and demands are there. But now let's look at, how do we get there if you want to get there, but you just don't know how to get there, right? You have an interest in cybersecurity field, just like me. You have an interest to start somewhere, but you don't know where to start. So the first thing you got to do is building a support network. Now, this support network can be one of the groups that I've listed earlier, or it can be a simple support group that you create among your friends, among your colleagues, whoever who are interested in cybersecurity. So build a support group first. And then here, you guys, you need to find a mentor. This is very important. As for me, it's very important. You really, really need to find a good mentor in cybersecurity. It can be from one of the groups, and they will guide you, they will motivate you, they will push you, and they will tell you which areas did you have to focus on. Then goes the next step, which is exploring areas in cybersecurity. Cybersecurity is not just one area that fits all. In the next slide, you will be seeing areas of cybersecurity that we can venture into. And you just have to explore those areas until you find your niche area, and then venture into that area. So once you find that niche area that you're looking for, that fits you, all you got to do is practice, practice, practice. Just make sure you do that. Practice, practice, practice. Now, of course, during the practice, believe in yourself. You have to have that belief inside you. Because if you have that mindset saying that, okay, I want to venture in cybersecurity, but the problem here is that I'm just starting, I'm practicing, I'm not getting it, it's not happening. You can't have that mindset. You have to have that positive mindset that even though it fails, start again. It's okay. Start again. Keep learning. Find a point. Find that changing, find that turning point that you start in. And once you do that, that you're getting yourself familiar with that field or that area that you have chosen, then start certifying yourself. Now, I'm focusing on certifying your certifications here is because, see, when you look at certifications, it's it's more of hands-on. You're not looking at theories, and you can have examination and so on, but when I talk about certification is that you are getting yourself hands-on experience, someone guiding you into hands-on experience. See, I've met people who wanted to go into the cybersecurity field and they do not even know where to start. They were not even good in Linux for a start. Zero knowledge in Linux. But then again, there's always somewhere to start, as I mentioned before. And today they are doing very well in the field of cybersecurity. After getting yourself certifications, you will feel the confidence, you will have the confidence in you, then move on to finding for internships. If you feel that you don't have the proper experience yet, or you're not skilled enough to start a job yet, go for mini projects, go for internships, go for smaller projects, and then do not forget to follow support groups, follow hashtags, and you could see yourself building yourself a foundation for you to venture yourself in the cybersecurity field. Now, why did I put up these steps? Is because now I'm going to share a story with you about myself. Now, yes, I have a PhD. Now, there's two, when I say mentor here, I'm going to highlight two people in my life that they are the main people that actually drive me into cybersecurity. Number one, of course, is my dad, right? My dad has been this person from young. He's always saying that, you know what? Yes, you are a girl, you are a woman, but you know what? You got to push all whatever you have, study, achieve the highest. He always tells me this thing, what sky isn't the limit, enough is never enough. That's what he always tell me, that very word, that quote he always give me. Enough is never enough, sky is never the limit. So that's what happened. So from my bachelor's I went on to my master's. I did my master's in Japan, so there was a bit of diversified culture there, and then I did my PhD. So that's how my flow went on to. Now, after completing my PhD, I thought, my background was IT and a little bit of forensic here and there. So after finishing all this, throughout that journey, I realized that I really like cybersecurity. I mean, the Porsche is there. It just sounds so cool. Seeing a woman in cybersecurity, calling that woman there, that's a cybersecurity expert. That's a cybersecurity professional. That woman is that woman is a hacker, lady hacker. Listening to all those, I would say label titles that they're giving you, it feels amazing. Seeing a woman doing so well in cybersecurity. So that was my dream. So I completed my PhD, throughout that journey before, and then I felt like I needed to start somewhere. Cybersecurity field is huge and you don't know where to start. That's when you start building your support network. And that's where I found the next mentor after my dad was Mr. Haja himself. If you don't already know who is Mr. Haja, that's when I met my mentor. And throughout that, the guidance I had, the guidance, the teaching, the light, and everything, today I find myself sitting behind a computer and I can call myself a cybersecurity expert. So that's what I did. Throughout meeting Mr. Haja, I started exploring areas in cybersecurity that I was interested in. So he wasn't easy on me though at that point of time. So I was exploring different areas. I was exploring hacking, wireless hacking, penetration testing, these areas in cybersecurity. And there was this thing: practice, keep on doing, keep on hacking, keep on reading up, keep on giving. Read. Providing yourself information, latest information, and all you got to do is keep believing in yourself. And then was when I move on to certifying myself. So that was how I built my career in cybersecurity, which is what I'm sharing with you in this slide here. So build that support network. My support network was my colleagues and my friends. Find that mentor. That mentor can be anybody in your life. Simple word or two can actually change a lot of things in anybody's life, not just women's life. And then, of course, explore the area. And guys, never stop practicing. Practice, practice, and practice. Once you're done practicing, practice again. That's what Mr. Haj's um, advice was. Okay, now moving on to the next one. Here, these are just a few cybersecurity domains that they have. We have the security architecture, we have physical security, threat intelligence, we also have security operation. Now, those are more on the technical side of cybersecurity. We also have the slightly softer side of cybersecurity. It is also under the umbrella of cybersecurity. So here you can see we have risk assessments as well. I mean, these are all paperworks. You know, you got to do analysis, you got to come up with reports and everything. But it is also part of the cybersecurity domain, and it is also very important because companies today does risk assessment. And then we have the governance where audit comes in, laws and regulation. You got to have make sure your system, the standards are in place, framework and standards, and also career development. Here we're talking about training, certification, teaching, things like that. So it's a huge domain. Don't look at it as a one small domain where you think that cybersecurity is all about focus, all about technical skills. No, it's a huge domain. Change that mindset, open up. There's a huge area for you to indulge in, and trust me guys, when you do that, it's amazing. This slide, I mean, Miss Ruby earlier I've covered this. Yes, I'm gonna repeat this. By 2028, yes, by Ernst and Young, they've already said that women will control 75% of consumer spending worldwide. Guys, think about it. I mean, we are women. At home, you already have many decision making. Homemakers, you being a mother, being a daughter, being a wife, you have decisions that you make. But put those skills that you have in cybersecurity. Here, you're going to look at making decisions of consumer spending by 2028, right? Now, here you're going to take into consideration of purchasing product system. You got to take into the consideration of security principles, encryption, fraud detection, biometric, and so on and so forth. And guess who are better decision makers in the world? Women. We make better informed decisions in these things. So why not put it to use? Now, before I end, I'm going to say this one last thing. Guys, without guts in life, without guts, talent goes to waste. And women out there, I'm telling you, you have talent. So take your talent, take your guts, use it, and make a difference out there. Do that. The world needs you. We need you. I need you. Okay, and that's the end of my presentation. I'm sorry if I took too much time. Let me end by saying this: a dazzling touch in cybersecurity is good for business, good for society, of course, good for cybersecurity. And that's all for my presentation, guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Vinesha, for that. I would say powerful presentation with a lot of stats and very accurate stories to put things into perspective. Now, we have a couple of questions from the audience. So, are you saying that characteristics specific to women can make organizations better in becoming cyber secure?
Yes, because see, cybersecurity, what people think is, oh, you only need the technical skills. Yes, the technical skills are important. Learn them, certify yourself, be a professional in those skills, be the best in what you do. But then again, we also have other characteristics that only women have, women possess. So that's an added value. That's the dazzling touch we are giving out there.
Okay. So, and then the next question is, how important do you think it is to know Linux for being in the cybersecurity field?
Oh, I like that question. Now, let me tell you this. Sorry about the scary laugh, guys. Now, let me tell you this. When I was starting off, I've heard people say Linux was important. But then again, there was no guidance or no direction. I was too young at the time. Then, when I started off venturing into cybersecurity, trust me, the one reason why people don't want to do Linux is that they think that it's super hard. I mean, lines of quotes and quotes, lines of quotes, right? So generally they have that mindset, oh, women, when you see quotes, when you see lines of jargon, you don't know anything about it. You know, you won't learn. It's very hard for you. Trust me, that's not true. Take that first step. I mean, go ahead, start Linux 101. Linux, when you learn Linux, you learn that commands, and when you get good at it, trust me, women out there, you'll be even better than guys. And going back to the question, is it important in cybersecurity? Trust me, it is important in cybersecurity. It also makes your life much, much more easier. Get that out of the table, get that off the table. Finish Linux, understand Linux. Cybersecurity will be so much more easier than you think.
Okay, great. So the next question is, there is hesitation in women to take up cybersecurity as a career option because thinking like a hacker sounds very complex. How do we help women overcome this situation? For
Oh
a
my
minute, or
God.
two, hacker when the current went off very dark. You were looking like a hacker, so you would be best.
No. Okay, I didn't plan that, guys. Suddenly the power just went off, but then I think it added value to the presentation, though. Okay, going back to the hacker. I mean, come on. When you talk about hacker, I would say it this way: to be really good at your job, you got to be the bad guy first, especially in cybersecurity, especially in security. You got to learn to be the bad guy before being the good guy. If you, why do I say this is, if you are that bad guy, you will know everything because you will think like a hacker. And that's when people would want you to be in their company, because although they know that you think like a hacker, I mean, with everything they're giving you, you're working for the company. Because of that mindset that you have, you are a better cybersecurity professional than someone who thinks that they are not a hacker. So think like a hacker, be like a hacker. Then when you go out to the job, I mean, that's where you come in, you know, your professionalism come in, to protect, to secure the system and everything. Nobody can mess with you. Why? Because you're already thinking like a hacker. No one is going to mess with you. So imagine the amount of security, the amount of principles, security principles, that you will add value to the organization. So think like one. I mean, I find it cool if someone comes and say to me that, hey, you know what, you're a lady hacker, thank you. I will say thank you.
You showed us you are a lady hacker with that lighting when the current went off. Now, the next question is, a lot of job roles right now require, or cybersecurity job roles will say, we want, okay, you mentioned certifications, yes, you need certifications, and then they start talking about having job experience as well. So then the problem becomes the chicken and egg problems, which comes first. So to get a job, you need experience, but to get that experience, you need a job.
Mm.
So how do you go about that?
Okay, when you talk about that, I would say, I mean, based on my personal experience, I would say get yourself certified, get yourself equipped first. Now, because when you talk about experience, how are you going to get experience without being qualified, without being good at what you do? Right? So that's one. So get yourself certified, get yourself whatever you can get. As for me, what I did was I got myself a PhD, I got myself certification, and then I went into the companies. Now, when you talk about experience now, today, like I said, the job demand for women are there. Number two, whichever company in general, let's talk about in general, in the cybersecurity field, if you're talking about someone getting a job, and you are going to be working as their security analyst or whatever under the company, securing their system. Now, obviously, there will be training provided as well. You will be taken into that orientation for a month or two to actually equip the employee of whatever they need, right? So get your certifications there. Now, the next thing I'm going to cover is, when you talk about certification, when you take proper certifications out there, scout around, do your comparison. Now when you get yourself certified, they are tools being used. Their hands-on experience as well. So again, it's a matter of you, how you take on that journey. It's really not hard, guys. It's about you, how you take on that journey, how much of enthusiasm you have in it. Like for me, when I start talking, I can't stop. So I mean, you can see that through my presentation. So that much of enthusiasm, put it all in cybersecurity. Trust me, you will be there. No one can mess with you. Yes, like what Mr. Haja is saying in the chat, no one can mess with you. Be that person. Experience count, But again, certification and whatever skills you have count as well. But then again, ladies, we can learn. There's nothing that we can't learn. I bet we can learn. The amount of things we do in the world, we can learn all this.
Okay. We have one more question. Can you please give us more info about cyber threat intelligence domain roles?
Cyber threat intelligent domain roles.
Yes, that is the question. One of
Roles
our.
as where's that question? I can't see that.
Can you please give
Roles
us more?
as in
I guess probably opportunities available when specific to cyber threat intelligence.
opportunities available. I mean, today everybody's going into cyber threat intelligence nowadays because we want to. In a simple word, let me just tell you, cyber threat intelligence is dealing with cyber threat in a more intelligent way, which means using systems, using proper systems in place, probably IPS, IDS, and things like that. Why we want cyber threat intelligence nowadays is because we don't want to go back to the manual way of managing these threats. Sorry. For example, one specific tool that we have, which is I would say very intelligent, will be the dark trace. You look at dark trace, right? The tool itself is super intelligent. I mean, companies could easily integrate this tool into their company. But why is that not happening? Guys, dark trace is super expensive. And of course, we need cybersecurity expert like you and me to handle those programs as well. So I hope that answers that question because I'm not really sure what you're asking.
Okay. So I think that's about it. Thank you so much, Vinisha, for the very enthusiastic presentation. Sumi,
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dr. Vinisha. Now you are a lady hacker. We know
Oh
you
my
as
God,
that
thank you.
now, and it was very inspiring. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.